Hey math kiddos, it's Mr. Carmichael. Let's talk about ways to find volume. So in 5th grade, we only work with rectangular prisms, so everything we're going to see is going to be a rectangle or a square. Next year, you will get into other shapes and other prisms. So we're going to look at 3 different ways to find volume. The first way is going to be count the cubes. So we have 3 models here we're going to look at and count the cubes. So the steps are count the cubes, use different colors to color the cubes, ask yourself, are there any hidden cubes? And write your answer in cubic units. So a couple things to pay attention to here are hidden cubes. So are we going to see any hidden cubes? And yes, in one of our examples, we will. The other super duper important thing to pay attention to here is write your answer in cubic units, okay? So hidden cubes and writing our answers in cubic units. So let's take a look at this first model here. And it kind of looks like if you've played Tetris before. So think to yourself, how many cubes do you see? Well, I'm going to make a mistake here and I'm going to count these cubes as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So some students might think that there are 9 cubes here. That is incorrect. And why do you think that is incorrect? Well, it is incorrect because this cube that I am currently coloring in is 1 cube. That is 1 cubic unit. So you see the front of the cube, you see the right side of the cube, and you see the top of the cube. So far, this is 1 cubic unit. So when we are counting the cubes, you're counting the whole entire cube. You're not counting each part of the cube, but this 3 pieces, or we see 3 faces. That's what you would learn in 6th grade, that these are called faces. These 3 faces are 1 cube. So now let's color in our next cube. So there's 1. Here is 2. This is our second cube, and we can see 2 of its faces. Now let's go to green, and here we have our third cube. There we go. We have 2 faces on that cube, but it's 1 cube. And now let's color in our last one in this red. We can also see 2 faces. So when we finish with this coloring, we have 4 cubic units. So we're going to write our answer here. These are just unit cubes, so we're just going to say we have 4 unit cubes. So 4 unit cubes, okay? So pretty easy. We counted the cubes, we colored them different colors to help us differentiate which cube belongs to which color. So we have 4 cubic units. Now, let's head over to this next monster here and start coloring this one. I'm going to start with just the cubes that we can only see the front face of. So like this one, I can only see the front face. So there's 1 cube. Let's see. This one, I can only see the face. There's 2 cubes. Are there any ones that I can just see only the face? Or 1 face, I should say. No, the rest of them I can see multiple parts of the cube. Oh, just kidding. I found one more. It's right here. Okay, so these 3 that I've just colored in, we can only see 1 face. All of the other cubes, we can see multiple faces, so we want to be very careful not to confuse those as multiple pieces. So here, this is 1 cube. Okay. This is 1 cube. There is 1. I'm just going to keep alternating back and forth between colors, that way nothing. Now this one is tricky, be careful. This is the corner cube, so we can see 3 of its faces, but this is 1 cubic unit. I'm going to color that one in. So if you're following along at home, you should also be coloring these in whatever fancy colors that you want. I know my girls, Lily and Ella and Emily, and who else always has? Aaliyah. I'm sure they're picking all the fun colors to color in. So I'm only working with these couple colors. I guess I could click here and, get some more fun colors. So all my friends that love to color, this is definitely your assignment. Unfortunately, we have to do it virtually. Okay, almost done. Again, another corner cube here, so make sure we color in all the faces. So this corner cube has 3 faces, so we want to color in all 3 of those. I can use this blue here. And we'll pick another fun color. Let's do this green. Oh, too close. Let's do this orange. Okay, so now I'm going to count these colors. Now guys, if I already know, Tristan's like, why do I have to use all these colors? You don't, but it's just to help you identify. So now let's count up these cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This model is 15 unit cubes. Excellent. Next one. We have this Pinocchio unit cube. Big, 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 big highlighted clue over here. Are there any hidden cubes? Well, there is. This little guy sticking out here is not floating on its own. It is actually sitting on top of another cube. So we need to make sure that we count the cube under here as well. So we've counted 1 cube. So let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we have 1 more under it, so this is going to be 10 unit cubes. 10 unit cubes. So counting cubes, easy. We won't see this as much, but now we know it's our time to color and de-stress. Now, the next one, using formulas. Boys and girls, this is going to be the most important one, so this is the one we want to really pay attention to. Using formulas. Length times width times height. I'm sure you've seen me say this before. So sometimes you're going to see it written L times W times H, but we know that that means length, L-E-N-G-T-H, times width times height. Okay? So length times width times height. Now, in the previous video, we've determined how to find length, width, and height. So using a highlighter or something, you can always still highlight length. Oh, that's a big highlighter. Let me see. Let's change that, okay? And then we can highlight height. Thought I changed the color. Okay, so we have height here. And let's do width. So width is that front to back. This coloring is not the best, but we're going to live with it. So now our length on this model is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our height is 1, 2, 3. And the width is also 1, 2, 3. So we just take our length, our width, and our height, and we write an expression. So we label your length, width, and height. We did. We write your expression. So let's do that. So here, guys, it's a multiplication expression, so you can write it in any order you want. But let's stick to the length, width, and height. So let me change this. I'm going to change this to red. So our length was 5. So we have 5 times width was 3 times height of 3. So we had 5 times 3, which is 15, times 3. 15 times 3 equals 45. So this model has a volume of 45. Now this is made of unit cubes, so we would write unit cubes. My handwriting looks terrible because I'm still learning how to write with this Apple Pencil. Okay, so did we follow the steps? Yes, we labeled our work, we labeled it, we wrote our expression, we solved, and we wrote it in cubic units. So please make sure we follow the steps. Now, this rectangular prism is measured in kilometers. Big measurement here. So when we write our cubic units, we're going to write it a little bit differently this time. So this one's already labeled with our length, width, and height, but to get us in good habits here, we want to label this as length, width, and height. And this will come into, this will be helpful here in the future when we start with other rectangular prisms that are bigger and have different shapes, so height. So again, length times width times height. Let's write that expression of 8 times 2 times 3. So we know that 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 3. So now 16 times 3. Well, we could do easy math in our head. I know that 3 times 10 is 30, and then 3 times 6 is 18, which this will give me 48. Now, what units do we write this in? We can do a couple things here. We can write cubic kilometers, or if you want to be super duper fancy and impress everybody, you can write km with a little 3 at the top, and that means cubic kilometers. So you can always take the measurement, whatever the unit of measurement is, and just write it with a little baby 3 as an exponent to represent cubic units. Now, another way to find volume, another formula is, oh, highlighter, hello, is area times height, okay? So most of you are familiar with area from 4th grade. Area, length times width. So we're going to be looking at the length and the width. Write your expression, solve. Remember layers. This is going to be something we're going to talk about a little bit down the road. Well, probably like a couple days from now. So we're going to talk about layers later. Write your answer in cubic units, and let's move this pencil out of the way. Can be written as repeated addition. This is just a little helpful hint for your iReady lesson coming up. So here, this cube or rectangular prism here has already given us the area. The area is 56, okay? So we don't have to have these parentheses here because we already are given the area. And then we're going to multiply it by the height of 6. So this is simply going to be 56 times 6. Okay, now again, you can do the algorithm, or Mr. Carmichael can do this in his head, and because I have nowhere to show my work, I'm going to do this in my head. So I know that 6 times 6 is 36, and then I also know that 6 times 5 is 30, or in this case, 6 times 50 is 300. So I'm going to get 336. Now, this does not have a unit of measurement, so in this case, we're just going to put cubic units. Okay, so this is 336 cubic units. Now, we have a rectangular prism made of cubic units again. So let's start off. We're going to we're going to find the area, which is our length and our width. So we should probably start off by saying that our length is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Our width is 1, 2. So we know the area of this would be 8. So we would start off with 8 times the height of 1, 2, 3. That is 3. So the area is 24. And I would also write, I will come over here and write it sideways, cubic units. Now, guys, if you are confused about any part of this, rewatch this video one more time. If you're not confused about counting the cubes, don't worry about watching that part. But these formulas are going to be very, very important. You can move on to the next video and watch some practice problems from your Module 5, Lesson 1. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.